Follow me on Twitch, everybody. For those who don't know, I'm back on Twitch. I came back last year. At the beginning, I was very active, and then I kind of abandoned it again, and then I came back. So I'm back. I'll be streaming more regularly from now on. So link to my Twitch channel in the description. I've been doing a lot of some variety streams, like streaming for 2 or 3 hours long. Random games from different consoles, some RPGs in there, some obscure games. Link to my Twitch channel in the description. And now, the Fate Extra record trailer of 2024, announcing its release date somewhere around 2025. Let's just hope it's not December of 2025, 'cause damn. There it is. Oh, look at it. It looks almost exactly the same. And where am I? Alright, let's check this out. Oh no, there's gonna be some wokeness in there. Well, as long as it's optional. Oh, it's that guy. That fucking guy. Oh, wow, yeah. Saber! It's kind of funny that all the focus is on the female MC, but no male MC. Probably because maybe the white male protagonist is gonna be unavailable. No type B, just type A. Okay, caster. So all the 3 main servants are back. You'll be able to choose between Saber, caster, and archer. Oh, there he is! The male! Type B is there! There will be a type B! Looks freaking awesome. I hate that blue hair guy. You're gonna hate him too. Or maybe you already do if you play the original. Damn, man, it looks bonkers. Can't wait for this. 2025. Bandai Namco is involved. Oh, man. What do I see in the future of Xenoblade Chronicles? Well, unfortunately, I'm not sure about Nintendo nowadays. I trust Monolith Soft, the developers. They haven't really been falling victim to modern stupidity. And in fact, last year with Xenoblade Chronicles 3, was it 2 years ago? It was 2 years ago, sorry. It seemed that, well, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was a game that kind of approached the current political situation of the world. That we have these evil people, which are the consoles, these evil corporations, who are... The consoles pretty much represent these evil corporations, you know, kind of separating humanity into 2 sides and having them fight against each other in a war. Because that's exactly where we're heading into. Look at Venezuela right now. Look at England right now. I mean, that's exactly what we're all heading to right now. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, right? And they're indoctrinating children, both sides, you know, pretty much for this conflict, you know. So, in that area, I like that the Monolith Soft approached that subject in a really obvious way. They didn't try to disguise it. They were just like, you know, no, you got human beings, I mean, living beings just fighting against each other because these motherfuckers in power want to, you know. And what's worse, you know, is... it's a small spoiler about Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I mean, the bad guys, you know, sometimes they are in this theater, right? And the main antagonist just sitting there, you know, in the theater, right? Because this is all we are to them, to the 1%. And, you know, it's just fucking circus to them. Anyway, so that was a great depiction of today's society, that game. So on that side, I trust Xenoblade. I trust Monolith Soft. That probably, if we ever get Xenoblade Chronicles 4... it's probably going to be the I'm not sure if it's going to be the aftermath of what we're going through right now, or if we're still going through this in a few years when the game comes out. It's going to be something related to that. But then again, Nintendo, I don't know if Nintendo or the Mafia companies are going to be involved this time, and they're going to force Monolith Soft to rewrite some of their ideas. So I don't know what's going to happen. So to answer your question, for now I trust Monolith Soft that they'll do the right thing and just develop their games creatively and how they want them without political bullshit influencing them. But we've seen a lot of companies going downhill because of that, so who knows what'll happen. I think my answer to your question is the same answer I will give to anybody asking about any JRPG series out there, not just Xenoblade. Like, the future is very uncertain, and we don't know what's going to happen. You get a lot of companies fighting this crap nowadays, and you got also a lot of companies giving in, being threatened, or giving in voluntarily, So who knows what's going to happen. Right now the future is uncertain for every single JRPG franchise, for every single video game franchise in existence. And we're just going to have to cross our fingers that these people can continue being creative and passionate without political bullshit in the middle. If you could fuse a turn-based battle system with an action-based battle system, how would you make the fusion work if possible? Something really similar happened with games like Grow Lancer, Heritage of War, even though that's a real-time strategy game. But how about Art on Helico 2? And then Arno Surge. The first games that came to my mind were those two. Like, Arno Surge is pretty similar. It's a turn-based RPG, but you gotta mash the buttons and create combos and attack on real time your enemies. I mean, they're stationary, they're not really attacking you on real time, they're just staying there while you beat the crap out of them until it's their turn. But it's kind of similar. Another one that kind of made it similar was Valkyrie Profile, especially the second one. The first one is kind of like, okay, you just click buttons and, that's it. It's more turn-based than anything. But then the second game came along, and then you gotta move around with your party, and all enemies are stationary, but if you enter their attack range, they will attack you. But they will spend a turn to attack you. They're not gonna start attacking you like in an action RPG. So Valkyrie Profile 2 made it and nailed it, in my opinion. It was fucking great. And I remember having a lot of troubles with the battle system at the beginning, but then I got used to it, and now it's one of my favorite games of all time. So they did it right. Another one that's kind of similar and followed a similar formula. I mean, it was actually, these two games are indies, and they were inspired by Valkyrie Profile, are Fallen Legion and Indivisible. And in Fallen Legion 1 and 2, the first one, and Revenants, they're actually more action RPGs than anything. They aren't exactly turn-based, because the enemies are constantly just waiting for their turn to attack you, so it's kind of similar to Xenoblade Chronicles and Final Fantasy XII. Well, completely different in terms of battle interface, right? But the concept is similar. Like, it's an action RPG, you can just button mash your controller at any time and win, and dodge, and move your characters around, and guard, stuff like that. But at the same time, you can just, everybody's still gotta wait a little bit of time. Like in the old Final Fantasy games. I mean, but the enemy's not going to wait for you. It's not like in Valkyrie Profile 1 and 2, where it's my turn now, so you're not going to move right now. You're not going to do anything right now. So I'm going to attack you. And then it's your turn, No, this is different. This is more action than turn-based. But at the same time, there's something turn-based, as in waiting for a turn. Kind of like in Xenoblade, more like in Final Fantasy 12, White Knight Chronicles, kind of like that. So yeah, it's been done before. If I ever mixed turn-based with action, it will have to be something like that. It hasn't been done that much, but it's been done. As you can see, there are games that are like a mix of both. Some of them are just more action, and some others are more turn-based, But it's been done before, and most of the experiments have turned out interesting and great, with the exception of Indivisible, which was a freaking mess. Extremely hard and unbalanced. I don't recommend that game, but all the others, are really good games. Why did Edge of Eternity fail? 2 reasons. Number 1, because it was full of glitches and bugs when it was released, even on PC. It was released on PC to a crap ton of bugs and glitches. And then the console version, same. Fuckers didn't even bother fixing anything. They all would just patch it up later, you know? I think that's why a lot of video games are failing nowadays. Because they release them like this. Like a Euden Chronicle, for example, I don't know how many copies it sold. I mean, it probably sold a crap ton because it got $4.5 million in the Kickstarter, so I'm guessing a crap ton of people got their copy. But I'm talking about the sales after it came out. Like from regular people who didn't get it on the Kickstarter, you know? So I don't know how many units it sold, you know, but I don't think it did that well because it was released to bugs and glitches and they had to patch it, right? So I think that's the main reason why Age of Eternity failed. Yes, they did fix most of the issues later on, but it still has issues. And I think the second reason is because it was just way too unbalanced. Not on the same levels as Indivisible, but it was kind of like some battles were a walk in the park. I mean, you got into a battle with some monsters and like 5 seconds later you were done and you were like, okay. And the next battle, in the same fucking area, the enemies were beating the crap out of you. And it took you like forever to kill them and you were like, what's going on with this game? And then the bosses, man. And some bosses are, you know, the bosses aren't that brutal, you know, but there were a couple of bosses that are like, they had requirements. Like you needed to do something specific and it was a pain in the ass and the boss battle just dragged on and on and on. So I still think it's a good game, but the reason why I rarely cover that game is because I have these mixed feelings about it. You know, I don't think it's that great and I don't think it's bad either. It's just full of problems, right? I think that's a reason why it failed. The 10 first games you will put in your JRPG Hall of Fame, they're gotta be like the extremely popular ones. And that made something significant. Like obviously, you know, the iconic, the big four we were just talking about. Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, Phantasy Star, and Fire Emblem. I will add the first Ys game. Ys. What else? We gotta go historical, you know. If there was to be a Hall of Fame, we will have to start from the very beginning, like from the very first JRPGs in existence, and those 5 are the big 5, you know, the big 5, definitely. And then the other 5 will probably be, I will put Shining Force in there. I will put Tales of Fantasia in there. What else? We'll probably put there Secret of Mana. I'm not the biggest fan of Secret of Mana, but I mean, it was one of the first action RPGs. It was one of the first action JRPGs to be like really successful, right? So that's a lifetime achievement. Because we got Final Fantasy, I mean, Adventures of Mana was released first on the Game Boy, but it wasn't released on that with that title. It was Final Fantasy Legend or something, or Final Fantasy Adventure, something like that. And it achieved nothing, you know. No one gave a fuck about it. But Secret of Mana was a big deal, so there we go. Star Ocean, no, I wouldn't put the first Star Ocean in there. I don't think so. At least on the first 10. Like, okay, so Fantasia. So we got 8 so far. We need 2 more. So Chrono Trigger will have to be there. Chrono Trigger. And God damn it, man, what will be the other one? I mean, I'm not gonna put the same game from the same series. I'm not gonna go and say Final Fantasy 2. No. Final Fantasy 6. Those will be like in the next generation of Hall of Fame. I think I am going to add... Damn. Shin Megami Tensei? I don't know if I will pick Shin Megami Tensei or Megami Tensei Digital Devil Story. It's gotta be one of those two for the Hall of Fame. Probably Shin Megami Tensei, because it is the one with the name as we know it nowadays. And they're still releasing games under that name, under the Shin. Because it previously was just Megami Tensei, right? And that's it. And there were only 2 games, never came out of Japan. So Shin Megami Tensei is more historically important than its predecessor. So Shin Megami Tensei will probably be my number 10. Pokemon 11. It's gotta be there. You can hate Pokemon all you want. I don't like it, but I don't like Pokemon, but it needs to be in the Hall of Fame. It's fucking Pokemon, man.